From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Arnab Goswami on The Debate at 10, powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group.
And before we continue, viewers, our network has been working hard to undertake a very deep investigation into the truth around the death, what we believe is the murder of Sushant Singh Rajput. And we will continue to carry out our stings. We will continue to pursue our testimonies, to expose all the loopholes in the case, call out the inconsistencies in the investigation and raise the tough questions, because we at Republic are your voice. And now we really believe that it is time to show a collective, that we can come together and show that with your support and with your petition, we can petition everyone, we can petition all those who are in positions of responsibility to work hard to have CBI for Sushant Singh Rajput. And I just wanted to announce that on our website, which is republicworld.com, if you go into the website and if you look at www.petition.republicworld.com, it is now live, and we want you to join in and we want you to sign the petition for CBI for SSR. We'll keep the number of people signing in live on our channel throughout. And viewers, it will really help build momentum in this campaign. Already from California to Melbourne and from Warsaw to Auckland, millions across the world have joined the biggest public movement for justice. Interestingly, tonight, 56% out of the close to 3 million respondents to our campaign as of this minute are from outside India. As we continue fighting for the truth together, you can log on to petition.republicworld.com and sign a 10-point charter for justice. Already over 20,000 people have signed the petition in the last few minutes, so what are you waiting for? The CBI for SSR campaign is absolutely unstoppable now.
Namaste astu bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Triyambakayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadhashivaya Sriman Mahadevaya Namaha.
In California, Sushant's sister Shweta Singh Kirti is leading global prayers for her brother. When she joined Republic Media Network CBI for SSR campaign, her appeal touched millions across the world.
I'm Sushant Singh Rajput's sister, Shweta Singh Kirti, and I request everyone to stand together and demand for CBI inquiry for Sushant. We deserve to know the truth. We deserve justice for Sushant.
California recognized her brother's contribution to the society on India's 74th Independence Day. Billboards with his name, photographs, and the appeal for justice adorned the streets of the American state. Miles away in Australia, Indians have come together to rally behind the CBI for SSR campaign. In Poland, 11-year-old Zbigniew Buji has dedicated a musical tribute to his favorite hero.
Even after 2 months of the sudden demise of Sushant Singh Rajput, I still think of him, his family, his fans, and the world over are seeking justice to his untimely death. I join everyone in asking justice for Sushant Singh Rajput. Hashtag justice for Sushant Singh Rajput.
From New Zealand, the earnest demand for justice in this young boy's voice is hitting home.
I'm from New Zealand and I want justice for Sushant Singh Rajput.
Back in India, it's the biggest public movement with over 3 million responses already. Citizens are pinning their hope on the highest court of the country.
We want CBI inquiry for Sushant Singh. We want justice for our beloved Sushant Singh.
I am demanding CBI for Sushant Singh Rajput.
I want justice for Sushant Singh Rajput. I want CBI for Sushant Singh Rajput.
But the big headline is in this number. 56% of those who've joined the campaign are from outside the country.
CBI for SSR is a truly global campaign because 56% of the respondents are outside India, 20% of the respondents are from the United States, 8% from the UK, 6% from Canada. We have respondents from countries like Bangladesh, the United Arab Emirates, Nepal, Afghanistan. 1% of the respondents are from Pakistan, which is roughly 30,000 people who have responded. CBI for SSR, a truly global campaign. And as we wait for the Supreme Court verdict, we'd like to thank each one of you for joining our campaign.
Let's debate.
So viewers, remember you can sign our petition on petition.republicworld.com. Just a correction, it's simply petition.republicworld.com, a 10-point simple petition that we'd like you to join in. I thought that we'd go across to different locations. So we have guests from London, Wisconsin in the US, Nigeria, Washington, Kuwait, Canada, London, Bahrain and Australia in this next short segment. May I just begin by asking you, Radhika, you're joining us. You started the hashtag the world stands for SSR. You are an IT professional working in Washington, in the United States of America. Radhika, why did you start the campaign? When did you start? And what has the response been like?
So, first off, I would just want to thank you for the opportunity. And also I want to thank Arnav and the Republic for doing and giving us this voice. It has been a tragic unfolding for the past 60 days. To be honest, I'm not even a Bollywood fan. I got to know about SSR only after he passed away. And the whole way the whole plan fell through, it's just a circus. We are sitting here watching everything unfold, and we just do not understand how it's 60 days and there's not a single thing taken from the authorities, despite all of the warriors putting forth everything that they know. And we are a large community here. We are represent in various walks of life in the U.S. We are not silly people who just are asking and just trying to create a noise, who are doing it for our own personal agenda. We are actually ones who are smart, who are educated, intelligent. We are able to connect the dots. We can see through half of the stuff that is happening, and it just looks very bad on optics. Now Kamala Harris is running for the vice president. She's half Indian. So now most of the people are all tuning in to see what is going on. I've had neighbors ask me, hey, what is this going on with SSR? Apparently a star was murdered. So what do we reply? What do we say? You are letting us down. The authorities are letting us down. And it was this movement on Twitter, and I am a social media person. I am on there a lot. I decided it was time to show the authorities that it's important that it's just not Indians or, the local fans who are asking for answers, but it's also everyone, so many of us from different parts of the world are all moved and shaken and really want to get to know some answers. We just want answers because nothing is happening.
So there are almost 3 million people now who are saying CBI for SSR and over, and 56% of the people speaking are from across the world. So there is a sense of global scrutiny. And in fact, in California, Shweta informed us, Sushant's sister, that her brother's contribution was recognized on our Independence Day. So the surprising thing I find here, Captain Vinod Nair is joining us from Vancouver, Canada. Captain Nair, you know Bollywood. The surprising thing is the Bollywood cabal is mute. All of you, everyone's talking about the murder of a star. But you have nobody none of the big stars in India opening their mouth, big directors, producers, they've all gone into hiding. What does that reflect in your view? And what do you think about it?
Change the room and then
Are you asking? Okay.
Was Captain Nair was taking that?
Definitely. There is definitely a kind of coterie or a kind of understanding that happens in the industry. I have seen that pretty closely myself. I was part of it for several years. The person I had partnered with was an actor, and she was launched by one of the biggest production houses. And after that, there was some kind of understanding that she needs to be sidelined and removed from the industry. And what followed was years and years of terrible PR, articles about her that was so baseless and absurd. I mean, there were articles saying that she demands to have her bathtub filled with milk every day, and it has to be a certain type of cow's milk. Now, those were the kind of articles released about somebody who's born and brought up in Jew. So, yeah, of course, and no one checked, no one... there are more than, I would say, 60 articles, if you look online, even today, talking about how ugly I am as a person, which means I have to be extremely rich, and she's a money grabber. So, you know, there are these things which are baseless, they make no sense, but they're out there, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. If you go to another publication and write another article, that just fans the flames even more. And once they decide to build a wall against you, there's very little you can do if you're in that industry and living there.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what you're saying, Captain Nair, is that there are people who have known of how Bollywood has operated, and they've just in this particular case they've sort of spoken out. I want to go to Rabia. May I go across to Uttara? Uttara is joining us from London. She's a singer and a civil servant. I'm only trying to get a sense, Uttara, of how people are responding globally. And even as I do that, I must say this, that I was moved that in Poland we had an 11-year-old who was dedicating a musical tribute to Sushant. But in India, whether it's Shah Rukh or Amir or Salman, they have nothing to say. That is the most incredible thing. Children in New Zealand are speaking up. But in India, Mr. Bachchan has nothing to say on this. Apart from, and I hope it is not that when they're asked to speak, they just say the law will take its own course. These are ironies we must speak of. The world is speaking. Where is Bollywood? None of them are really speaking or making this a campaign. Uttara, I'd like your views on that. Rabia and others, because it seems to me the biggest hypocrisy in this case.
Arnab, sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yes, sorry, was someone else wanting to speak, or would you like me to? Sorry, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can.
Yes. So, yes. Well, well, all I can say is and I just want to first say thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I take my hats off to you. I salute you for what you have been doing. You know, you really are an inspiration for people across the globe. There are people from all over the world who are watching, and all I can say is that it is very, very disappointing, hugely disappointing to see the silence of people within the mainstream Bollywood, that no one is saying anything, and this is something that really needs to be addressed. I really am incensed by how this whole affair has been handled by the Mumbai police and the Maharashtra government. I feel that there definitely is a cabal that's working together to try and hide the truth. But at the same time, it is also hear that there are musical tributes from people all over the world, people not just within India, but also people across the globe. They seem to be becoming more aware. Gradually, I think the momentum is building. I've been on Twitter and on Facebook. I've been trying to post and trying to do my own tributes through every week. And raise this topic of Sushant Singh Rajput. It's because it's important. I think it's an issue not just of Sushant or of Bollywood. It's a question of trying to get rid of this problem of corruption that seems to be, just seeped into the system, and it really needs to change.
Yes,
but
Tess, if I can come to you in Kuwait, why has this struck a chord among so many people?
Yes. Because we could relate to Sushant. Like, Sushant was somebody who I think everybody look up to, like an inspiration. Like, he was so down to earth, and he was loved by so many. Like, we were devastated to hear, like, on 14th, like, to hear him, like, just go off like that without a note, without nothing. So we had all these questions to, like, why it happened, like, why did he do that? And let me tell you, Arnav, your show is the only show that gives us what's actually going on. Like, we don't get to hear like much about him in all other channels, like even from Mumbai Cops or other personnels. We don't get to hear much about his case. It was only initially like maybe 2 days they aired it, and then it was like for 2 months we have started campaigns all over. Like, I'm a part of this campaign called Insaf SSR. Like, we started to collect signatures, photographs, I mean, to start like a global revolution, because we wanted the answers and we couldn't get any.
You mentioned that
this case for like 2 months.
Yeah,
and
you mentioned this.
It's really opening up a lot of mysteries. Like, it's like a Pandora box, and everything is coming out. Like, it's really
Tess, you just mentioned out there
astonishing that nobody in Bollywood is even speaking about this, or that they don't. Yeah,
they're not speaking. They're playing safe, Tess. The problem is, in our country, people who reach positions of power and influence trade it for their immediate business interest. Can I tell you one thing, Nikhil, when Bollywood will speak? Bollywood cabal will speak when they feel they will not make enough money when their films are released. So they were terrified when Mahesh Bhatt's flop film got rejected even before it was launched. So when their corporate and business interests get involved, then Bollywood will speak. Till then, they will not speak. There is absolutely no humanity there. Did Bollywood speak? Did Bollywood speak when Jia Khan was killed? Ask Rabia. Did Bollywood speak, Rabia, then? When your daughter was killed, did Bollywood speak then? Or when Divya Bharti died, did Bollywood speak? When an actor called Kunal Singh was found hanging, and his father, who I spoke to just yesterday, Rabia, said that he fought a tough battle. His 70-year-old retired army man, Colonel Rajendra Singh, fought a tough battle for his son.
Yeah.
His son was in his early 30s when he was found dead. He was murdered. Did Bollywood speak then? They did not speak. They're only repeating what they used to.
Arnab, it is so sad. Like, when my daughter came into the film industry, all these people, all these icons who wanted to work with her, they would take her time. And now when she was murdered, nobody spoke. Yes, few of them, I will not say that few of them did come to her funeral, did give her that homage. But to speak for Sushant and Disha Salen and Jia Khan, just to say, generally to say to the police, come on guys, do your job. You're supposed to investigate in a proper manner. You can't ask media and individual public to be investigators for you. Like, look at Sushant's case. and Jia's case, the injury marks, gruesome injuries, you can see 6 officers who came to my house saw the injury marks and said when they saw that it was a murder, they promised me that they will get me justice. What happened? Look at Sushant, they didn't even take photographs. Crime scene photographs in the fixed position, not allowing anybody to be there is a must thing. And you think that police does not know about it? I am also very suspiciously doubtful about CBI, that the case will go to CBI. What will be the condition? Who is going to hand over the documents and the evidence to CBI? In my case, Arnab, police did not cooperate with CBI. Let me tell you, when CBI came, 20 officers came to my house. They were talking to me, which were relevant as if they're looking for murder, and they were looking for murder. The first thing they said, tell me, what kind of belt was accused wearing? What kind of watch he had on his wrist? And did you see any saliva, any droppings, any tears on Jia's clothes? And where is her tracksuit? All these relevant questions, they came to the crime scene, they saw. And few months later, Arnab, the whole history changed. The story changed. The internal conflict started among the senior officer and the investigating officer.
I'll go into the details, Rabia, in just a minute.
Yes.
I'd like to go across to Melbourne, Australia, to Nikhil, who's been part of the Melbourne campaign of CBI for SSR. I actually heard that people have collected money to put up hoardings for justice for Sushant Singh Rajput. Tell us more about it, Nikhil.
Yes, sir, Nab. It's Nish, by the way. Nish.
Sorry, Nish. Sorry, Nish. Yeah, Nish Power.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's literally been 3 days within the time frame that this money has been collected. It was started by one person, and then everybody just came across as a wave of people. $5,000 was collected in just 3 days. And in 4th day itself, which was today, basically, these hoardings were up already about 7 or 8 places. And people, not only just like you said, New Zealand as well, we were, when I've shared this campaign everywhere in different groups of Indians in Melbourne and Indians of everywhere around Australia, basically, people from all over the world were commenting, wish we can do that for our cities as well. We want justice and we are dying for it. And as I agree for Jia's mom as well, that justice is being delayed, not in just this case, is every case, and CBI takes forever. By the time it gets to CBI, it's not even fair for them to be looking at it. It should not have been delayed.
When you're deciding this, Nish, if I can ask, when you're deciding this and you're going into the campaign, obviously everyone's in the campaign, those who are part of it, are looking at the evidence at hand, right? You're following the media, you're taking the facts and making up your own mind with the evidence which is being brought out, which is in the public domain right now. So people are aware of this in detail, aren't they? Because the police here, the Mumbai police wants to say that, only they are in the know.
Very much, yes. And look, most importantly, I want to thank to your team and yourself as it's still going on. And because when the whole thing started at the beginning, it died off in a week's time. Nobody was actually daring to keep talking about it.
Because they covered it up, Nish. Because they covered it up. For the first 25 days, they covered it up. Quite
exactly. And honestly, Bollywood cabal, as you said, it's just not fair. It's not fair because it may happen to their kids. It could happen to anyone. It's just not happening that someone coming from the zero round is not getting.
I think, I want to keep politics out of this, but all the people, who support Bharat Tere Tukde Honge, who speak up about Shaheen Bagh, who call India Lynchistan, and cinema stars who go and take pictures in Turkey, and to say that they don't feel safe in this country. Amir Khan, Nasiruddin Shah, all absolutely, I'll tell you, pin drop silence on this one, deafening silence from all of these people, the biggest names. This is like, I once asked a top cricket star, why didn't you speak on match fixing? The person had no reply. I'd like to ask all these Bollywood people, when they want to come out with to do their PR interviews before their next 100 crore release, they must remember every viewership, loyalty, support, and financial support comes from the people of India. And I'd like to go across to Wisconsin in the US. Sidhu Singh is joining us from Wisconsin. Sidhu, tell me about it. There are lots of people who wanted to hush this up, and I truly believe that now it is because of involvement of people like you that, you can't hush this up now in India. Everyone's watching.
Yes, so, Sushant, unhone zyada movie to nahi kari, but he was a very well-known person because of his great performance. So when we heard the news that he had committed suicide, that was unbelievable. That we can't believe that this can be a suicide. Then somehow the pictures got leaked of his dead body. And when I looked at it, even a fourth-year medical student can tell by looking at it, this is not a suicide. This is a murder. This is a homicide. And the way everything was dealt with, any unnatural death, according to medicine, should be treated as homicide unless proven otherwise. So the crime scene should not be touched. You have to take the pictures, you have to take the samples, and you have to register an FIR. But nothing was done, and there was an officer who came out within 5, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and he said that ye to suicide ka case lag raha hai. So then, everybody was taken aback that this is not right. This is just, it doesn't make sense what is going on. And it seems like जो कि Bollywood में होता आया है अब तक इतने ढेर Sridevi and पीछे Divya Bharti, then we thought कि is this related to the same thing? Then we did much more digging, and seems like 3 other people had passed away in the month prior. So since then, we've been digging into this because it just doesn't make sense.
Absolutely, it doesn't, viewers. But the support is incredible. I want to thank all of you because, you've all touched and connected with Republic. We've been working on this, and I've told my team that this is like a classical. We were talking in our newsroom earlier today, and we said this is like a classical investigation where, as you dig more and more, like a peels of an onion, you come out and find out more and more. And I know that I know that all of you are coming from different time zones here today, but I want to request all of you to just keep this going so that public pressure and public momentum stays, and we achieve a Supreme Court monitored CBI investigation for SSR. So there is a petition on our Republic World site, if you'd like to go in and just sign in on it. We already, in the last 45 minutes, we've got 31,000 signatures. So it'll help, because I want people to know. I want the authorities to know that they are under watch, not just in India, but outside India as well. So thank you so much to all of you joining me from different parts, different time zones. Thank you. Thank you.